Today I want to make a video for you new hams. I want to make an antenna, an HF antenna, a dipole, a simple, humble dipole, using mostly parts you probably already have at home with the exception of this little guy that's very, very inexpensive. Under $30 you can do this, and we're going to tune it without an antenna analyzer. It's going to be stupid easy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. This time on Ham Radio Tube. So this is it. This is all the parts we're going to use to make this antenna, and you probably have most of these things lying around at your home already, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make this as easy as possible. The only thing you probably might need to buy are these little guys. These are called BNC video adapters. Now, I couldn't find this exact kit that I bought because I bought this over a year ago, but I will leave affiliate links in the description to something very similar. But this whole kit, for I think I got 12 of these, was like $10. So we're gonna use the BNC female, and it's got these little push posts on here. You can find kits like this online still, but they have screw terminals. I prefer these push-in ones, but either way, they're the same darn thing. So we can put that aside. We're gonna need the BNC. We're gonna need some kind of wire. Doesn't really matter what it is, but speaker wire is great for antennas. If you watch some of my very early videos, when I first started getting into portable radio, I was doing a lot of antennas with speaker wire. You probably already have some of that laying around, and if you don't, you can pick up cheap speaker wire from Walmart very, very inexpensively. And while you're at Walmart, stop by the camping section. If you don't have some tent stakes, just get some cheap tent stakes. These are under $1 each, and we're gonna need something to guy or stake the antenna down with. So this is just mason line that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's, and kind of where all the masonry stuff is. You get a ginormous roll of this for $7, $8, $10, something like that. So all of this should cost you like less than $30 if you own none of these things. So what we want to do, because we're going to make this one for the 20 meter band, I'm going to cut this 18 feet long, which I know is long, but because we are not going to use an antenna analyzer, because I want to make this as inexpensive as possible, we're going to just make this antenna and we're going to tune it using the built-in SWR meter from our radio. And there's 18 feet. We'll go ahead and cut it right there. Now we want to take our 18 feet of speaker wire, and we want to separate both wires into two separate wires. Done and done. Now we can strip off just a tiny bit, maybe 1/4 of an inch of the jacket to reveal the center conductor. And we'll go ahead and insert one into the red. And we'll do the same thing with the other wire, and we'll insert that into the black port. Now we officially have a dipole antenna. Now we need to figure out a way to actually attach this to something so we can hang this. So in the name of being cheap, we're just going to take some of our mason line or string or whatever you've decided to use, and we're just going to tie it to the BNC connector here. And I'm just doing a simple like 2 pretzel knot thing, but that should be enough to hold it. And then cut some of the excess here. I'm just going to fold it back on itself and tie this loop into another loop. Just like that. Trim off the excess, give it a little singe if you like, and now we have a way to hang our dipole from the tree. And the weight of the coax pulling down on this should keep it fairly straight, but it doesn't really matter. So that's that. We have one more thing to do with the wire. At the very end of the wire, we're just going to go ahead and tie a knot. And this is how we're actually going to stake this into the ground. Okay, just a simple little pretzel knot there. And we're going to do the same thing to the other wire. Just right at the end there. Okay, just like that. Now I've went ahead and cut two 10-foot lengths. They can be longer if you want. I just opted for 10 feet of the mason line. And we're gonna use this to secure our two ends of the dipole to the ground. So I'm gonna tie a simple loop in the ends of both of the ropes or the mason line. All right, so do that to both of them. And the way this is gonna work, we're simply gonna slide the knot through the hole there, and using the knot, that's what's gonna actually hold it in place. I'm putting a lot of tension on this. We've got plenty of catch, so this isn't gonna go anywhere. Make it easy as possible for us. And the other thing, because we cut this too long, we know that, simply have to undo the knot when we wanna trim it for resonance, cut it, and then retie our knot, and reattach our loop, and we're ready to go. So let's go out to the field, tune this up, and see how it performs on the air. And do bring your mason line with you or some kind of line, because we need to get the feed point over a tree branch, or if you don't want to use a mason line, you can use a telescopic mast. I'm actually going to bring an arborist throw line, but basically you can just use the mason line and some type of weight to throw this over a tree branch so we can hoist our antenna up into the air. I'll see you at the park. And that's how I packed it up to bring out here to the park. I just coiled it all up, put a couple rubber ties around here, wrapped all the guy wire around it, and even stuck my wire cutters in there. So I'm gonna use this arborist throw line to get a rope over the tree, and let's get to setting this up and trimming it and tuning it. Now these arborist throw lines are great for getting your line over a tree. They're silky smooth, they're designed to be thrown over trees. A lot of other lines like to get caught in there, get a nice little weight. If for some reason you need to pull the line back up, take the weight off and pull the rope back down. Otherwise, this will swing around and get caught on a tree limb and you'll never get it out. Here's your pro tip. So now I'm just gonna unwind all of my mason line. We're gonna start setting up the antenna. Throw that over there. Throw that over there. Got our 3 tent stakes. Can uncoil each leg of the dipole. And just for ease, I put one of these little S-beaners on the loop that we made. Certainly don't have to. You could just tie a rope to this, but just makes life a little bit easier to have these. You get like 20 of them for $8, I think, on Amazon. So I'll leave affiliate links for all this stuff in the description and in a pinned comment. Now we're going to attach our coax to the center conductor. I'm just using RG316 from ABR Industries. This does have a built-in inline choke on it. You certainly don't need to have this. It'll still work, but I like to use these. And if you're looking for some good coax, ABR Industries, made in the USA, they're right here in Houston, Texas. You can save up to 20% off with code KNMRD10. Links as well in the description. Now we can go ahead and raise our antenna up to the height we want it. We haven't done anything with the legs of the dipole yet, and that's okay. I've got a stake here in the ground already, and I'm just gonna tie a simple overhand loop into our rope here. Stake that in the ground so we can keep it up. Then with a stake and our 10 feet of mason line, go ahead and grab one of the wires, put our loop over like we did at home, go ahead and walk it out. Doesn't need to be ridiculously tight, but we do want to get the antenna wire off the ground. And we'll go ahead and stake this guy in here. And we'll do the exact same thing to the other side. Loop over the knot, walk it out. Make sure the wires are in the same plane as one another, which I'm going to have to move the other one. That's okay, because there's a tree here. Stake that in, and we'll just square these guys up. Done and done. And there we have it. Our dipole is up, ready to take our first measurements for the SWR using just the radio's SWR meter. And because we cut it long, we know we're gonna be low in frequency. So let's take a look. So we're already seeing and hearing signals, but we wanna see where our SWR meter or our SWR is. So I'm gonna go, actually let's start at the very top of 20 meters, somewhere where there's a clear frequency. And we can use AM, FM, or I just like to use CW. Let's turn our power down a little bit. And we just want to key up, we're going to watch this SWR meter there. So we're about 2.8 to 1 there at the top of the band. We should be better at the lower of the part of the band because we cut this long. See, we're about 2.5 to 1 there. So that means our dip is lower in the band and we can't transmit any lower than that. We need to cut the antenna to make it shorter to bring the SWR up into the 20 meter band, because right now it's probably 13.7, 13.8 megahertz is where the actual dip for lowest SWR is. So let's go cut some wire. And one thing to note, as we're cutting this wire, we're gonna need to move our stakes in because, well, we're shortening it. So let's take the loop off. We'll untie our knot. Now, just because I know that this is too long, and usually 17 meters is, or excuse me, 20 meters is usually just a little over 17 feet, somewhere around there. So I'm just gonna guess, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, somewhere around 6 inches. I'm just gonna cut this. Don't drop your wire on the ground. Put it in your pocket. Throw away your refuse. Don't litter if you're in your parks. Go ahead and tie our knot. And see, we need to move our stake a little bit closer. That's more better. Put this in your pocket. And we're gonna do the exact same thing to the other side. I've already brought the stake in a few inches. And I'm gonna use this piece of wire that we cut from the other side as our crude measuring device, because ideally we wanna keep these the same length. Cut, put these in our pocket for safekeeping. Go ahead and retie our knot and put our loops back on. Let's go check resonance again. So we were at about 2.5 to 1 down here in the lower portion of the band. Now we're at a little under 2 to 1. So we still need a little bit of trimming. Let's see what happens way up here at the top. About 2.3 to 1. So we're getting better. We need to cut probably a few more inches off of this to get it resonant. But the idea is just to make several small trims. I mean, it's totally usable right now, honestly. Make several trims and check the SWR each time that you make the cut. I'm gonna aim for the middle of the band, so I'll probably cut off another 6 inches and let's see what happens. On my left is the first element we cut. On my right is the second. Cut it a little bit shorter, but this is just crude antenna building. Look at that, 1.4 to 1. Let's check up in the higher part here. 1.7, 1.8 to 1. So we could probably do one more trim. After our third cut, on my left is the second cut, on my right is the third amount of wire that I cut. We're just guessing here. If you want to take your time, you can go inch by inch. I certainly do. Sometimes I'll do it centimeter by centimeter when I'm really fine tuning. The idea is you just want to cut small increments, check your SWR, and retest. Now I'm aiming for 14.175, and look at that, 1.3 to 1 at 14.175. Where are we at the bottom of the band? 1.2, so we're still a little bit long, but this is totally usable right now. Let's go up to the top of the band somewhere. Under 1.5 to 1 across the whole band. Like, we could be done. If you want to cut it one more time, we're totally fine. So it is still a little better at the bottom of the band. So we could probably shave off another couple inches if we really wanted to tweak it, but this is totally 100% usable right now. So because I'm not one to leave well enough alone, just cut off a couple more inches. Let's see where we're at 14.175. Look at that. Almost no, probably 1.2, maybe 1.1, 1.2 to 1. Let's check down here at the bottom. Where are we at? Nothing. So we could probably still cut this a little bit more. What's happening up here at the top? 1.3, like we could totally leave it alone. We're done. And just to show you, I did bring my antenna analyzer out. The point of this video is that you don't need one. We know it's a little long, so I expect the dip to be a little low there. But look at this, we're just below the band. Like, literally, who cares, right? If you want to spend more time tweaking it, knock yourself out. No more tuning. Let's make some contacts.
9 India Charlie Papa, India Charlie
Jeez.
Papa. Alpha Charlie 3, Lima X-ray.
This is November 9, Kilo Delta Bravo. Got you 5-5, Mike into Indiana.
Kilo Papa 3 Delta Romeo 2x2, 2x2 in Texas, Tango X-ray.
Kilo Echo 4, Romeo Charlie Delta.
Alpha Juliet 9, Mike Charlie.
Whiskey Juliet 2 Bravo.
Whiskey 0, Charlie Golf.
There he is.
Kilo Delta 9, Delta Zulu Tango.
Alpha Echo 0, Whiskey Delta.
Well, there we are. In just over 5 minutes, we got the park activated. Poor band conditions, a cheap speaker wire dipole. Having fun. Doesn't get much better than that. Made a few more after that. Got me all the way from California to Puerto Rico to Minnesota to Long Island, New York, and everywhere in between on a freaking, what, $20, $30 speaker wire antenna that we made. Doesn't take much, boys. Just make it, put it up, get on the air. My name is Mike, K at MRD. Thanks so much for watching Ham Radio Tube. We'll see you next time. 73.